Guys, we have a massive semifinal game in Nations League tonight between the U.S. and Canada, as well as U.S. and Mexico, Canada, Panama. Let's dive into U.S.-Mexico, shall we? Charlie, this is the big rivalry. You know it well. You've scored in these matches before. What are you most hyped about leading into tonight's match?
To stake claim as we are the better nation right now in football than Mexico. Past 5 matches, unbeaten. 2 wins, 3 draws. It feels like this group, they've come together in a brotherhood way, more of like a family. They're ready for the challenge. This is the 3rd youngest group to play at the World Cup and the youngest group to advance out of the group. So experience, that's out the window. I feel that they need to continue to push forward to maximize that potential and keep moving in the right direction. And it starts with a big win against a weakened Mexico side. A side that it's a weakened Mexican side. But compared to what they normally are. And they have a new coach, Diego Coca, who needs to not only convince this team, but the Mexican public that he's the right guy, because he wasn't hired by the new regime in charge at the Federation of Mexico. It was the old one. So today,
and plus the clarity on his hire was, there was a little bit obscure, right? It's like he was hired so quickly. They needed a quick fix right after Tata Martino. And let me add to what you were saying, because the narrative a lot going into this game has been that the script has flipped since 2021, that now US is on the high and Mexico's on a low, whereas it was previously it was the opposite as to the game in Denver, right? But not only is Mexico low, this is arguably their biggest crisis in Mexican football history.
But doesn't it get corrected with a win against the U.S.?
Exactly.
Which is why I'm a little worried. Yeah.
Biggest crisis.
That doesn't get corrected. Yes, it moves it in the right direction, but it
changes the narrative. It changes the narrative.
You think this is the biggest crisis that they've experienced?
If they lose today,
crashing out of a group stage at a World Cup with Tata, after hiring Tata Martino, 100%.
Do you guys remember post 9/11? They had the warnings, like yellow. Hold on, I'm asking. Mexico is how far into a panic are they?
The panic meter.
Yeah, the panic meter.
Our panic meter.
They're in the red.
And
right now,
they're in the red.
But no, you can't say that, because if they lose to the U.S., where are they?
So in the panic meter, they're touching the red.
Yeah.
If they lose tonight, it's full-blown red.
I mean,
does Coca get sacked?
No, not. I think
they'll
after
give him the
goals,
goal.
Kind of a joke, but I didn't mean it that way.
They'll give him the Gold Cup, I think. But when you look at Coca, this is a manager who's trying to figure out how to get this team to win.
You go, continue.
I'm not saying anything.
Continue. Let's be serious.
I'm not even saying anything.
I made the mistake of looking at Alexis.
When you look at Coke, me too. When you look at Coke,
they all looked right at me. It's not my fault.
Well, he's changing the formation.
Yeah.
To a 3-man back line.
Yeah, Coca makes.
They don't have pace. We've talked about that. Aside from Uriel Antuna, who can get in behind, but other than that, they're a team that needs to keep possession, or they need to sit in a mid to low block.
Does he get an excuse because Chucky Lozano's not there, which is probably their most dynamic player?
It doesn't help.
But is it an excuse? If they lose, they're like, oh, well.
No, you never have
no, this is Mexico.
You have injuries all the time.
I think this is a coach that needs to figure out a way to get Diego Lainez going.
But he's not.
I know, but he has. What?
He's not even here.
What do you mean?
Diego Lainez?
Yeah.
He's not here.
I thought he was on the roster.
No, he's not.
Oh, he's not on the roster.
Did they not send the official roster out, bro? You gotta Mexico. Send it to us, bro.
Well, he needs to get him going at some point.
No, I think Diego Lainez, not even with Tigres, not even that great.
In terms of players who can beat you on the dribble, 1v1. It reminds me of Giovanni Dos Santos when he was at his prime. That was a player that you were like, oh, God.
Gold Cup Gio Dos Santos?
Oh, 2011. But they don't have those players right now.
Uriel Antuna,
no.
Alexis Vega. On this roster, those are the guys that can do that.
But they can't do that. That's not in their game.
Alexis Vega? I think he has it in him.
What about Henry Martino? Are we
that.
expecting anything out of him? Supposedly going to be your starting striker?
Which is kind of, to me, I think it's, I wasn't expecting that. Out of that rumored confirmed 11, I thought it was going to be Santi Jimenez. Because he's in form, but Henry Martin has been scoring a
Also,
lot of
he
goals for
hired you as
America.
his PR agency. You've been saying Santi Jimenez on this show for a long time.
Well,
to get him to not start, it's kind of
well, that desperation to find that 9, and Santi Jimenez has kind of been that name to pop up, kind of like the same thing that we do with Balogun, the Mexican fans do with Santi Jimenez. So I thought, you know, how we potentially will be starting Balogun, the U.S. will potentially start Balogun. I think Mexico should potentially start Santi Jimenez, but who knows?